All right, welcome to Swamp Chats post game. The Florida Gators just beat Vanderbilt 38-17. The game just ended. In my opinion, it was ugly, but at the end of the day, I think it's one of the things we mentioned last week in post game and in pregame. Kind of just let's just get it going. Let's just get it going. I think Dan Orlovsky even mentioned it, Manny, during the game, where it's like these games, yeah, ugly or not, it's whatever. You're trying to get all the way into being in that game against Alabama, deciding who's going to get into the playoffs and who isn't. And so I feel like with this, you take the win. You obviously want to look at certain things, and judge them. But I mean, I guess first, how do you feel about the game as a whole?
I mean, like one of the things that we were hoping didn't, arise once again is obviously the defensive play, right? I mean, Vandy starts a true freshman at quarterback. He goes right down the field in the first possession, and we make him look like an All-American. And then all of a sudden, you're seeing once again the miscommunication issues. And then all of a sudden, Marco Wilson looks like he's going to get a pick, and his guy jumped over his back, just like the Texas A&M wide receiver, and gets the football. Like those are things that we already are accustomed to. I mean, I am. I don't want to talk too much about the defense because obviously it's been the same talk about it. Maybe not
since week one.
Yeah, since week one. I mean, it hasn't been the talk lately of it, but it's been the same negative, I guess, intro again and again and again. So I think this game, Joe, though, once again shows the availability, just the whole offensive scheme, right? How once again Pitts is not in there, and yet, listen, Copeland drops a pass, the first ball thrown at him, and all of a sudden he catches 4 straight. Grimes goes up and catches a touchdown. All of a sudden, Shorter's getting, he's now getting involved. Gamble, that final touchdown drive, that was all Gamble from the 1 yard line, and he ends up catching another one just to score, the Gators' final touchdown. So it's just a little bit of those things when you think about it as a whole. Once again, those defensive issues that we had at the beginning of the season is once again reoccurring. And I totally understand it's Vanderbilt, right? But I mean, get the hell out of here with this. It's not like it's Texas A&M offense. It's the Vanderbilt offense starting a true freshman at quarterback. And like I said in the beginning, you made him look like an All-American in the first possession. So again, I don't want to harp too much on the defense. I just feel like once again, this was the game was get in, get out, get the W, don't get any injuries, get ready for Kentucky.
D, would you agree with that?
Yeah, man. Look, I put on the timeline earlier. It's just something about playing at Vanderbilt that, we struggle, man. I put on the timeline. Shout out to my boy OG Rich on Twitter. 1996, our national championship year, we won 28-21. 4 years ago, we won 13-6. 2 years ago, we were down 21-3. I don't know what it is, but it's just something about Vanderbilt. When we played them in Nashville, they have something for us. So, we struggled early after the first 2 drives. The defense kind of calmed down and got some stops, and the offense took over. But, it shouldn't have been that close. But again, it's Vandy at Nashville, and anyone that has a history of this game, when we play there, no, it's not a cupcake game.
Yeah, I think I was cooking as I'm watching everything. I'm trying to get food done and everything, and hearing the announcers talk about certain things, and I was just like, some of this stuff is just getting ridiculous. It felt like for a while in certain drives it was like Vanderbilt and Vanderbilt again, and I was like, okay. And I know we don't want to harp on the defense too much, but it was just like certain things where it's just like, because we talk about the defense every single week. Again, like before you came on, D, we had mentioned, it's been since week 1. And I feel like it's not going to end for the rest of the season. And
no, I said this on Twitter. I'm like, people are expecting this defense to be something that is not. It's not a great defense. It's a defense that is going to give up big plays, but at the end of the day, if they get a few stops and some turnovers, they got 1 turnover. I think they made Vanderbilt's punter punt 4 times. That's just what the college game is right now, man. These spread offense are creating matchups. They're exposing guys, and that's just the way it is, man. This defense is not great.
Manny.
Well, no. I see where D's coming from, but my issue with this, to me, you're talented enough up front to be stout. And in the back, listen, I understand now CJ Henderson, But to me, you still got athletes back there that, no offense, they shouldn't be 5 yards away from a third and short, right? I mean,
I agree.
I think, you know what I'm saying? And listen, we don't have linebackers, right? That's for sure. We don't have any linebackers. So I would think that with the talent that we have up front, plus the athletes we have in the back as a whole, that would help the defense per se. But I saw a lot of scheme issues today, man. And D, one of the things that we saw a lot in the beginning part of the season was always, man, defensive guys not knowing where to line up. You saw Vanderbilt, right? So on the first drive, maybe even the first 2 drives, they were going on offense. They never switched. They never substituted. Florida's trying to substitute guys off the field, knowing that, guess what? They're not doing it. So why in the heck are we doing it? Our guys are showing up from the sidelines onto the field on 2nd and 5, 3rd and 9, not knowing where to line up. And yet, once again, Vanderbilt's moving the football once again. It's just those little issues that just it mind boggles me. And a guy like Todd Grantham, he's there, right? Like we saw him. He's looking at this. He's literally looking at his guys. Okay, sub. Why are you gonna sub if the other team's not doing it? I'd rather you be lined up correctly than you trying to get fresh bodies onto the field that have no idea yet what to do until they get to the line of scrimmage, right? Like what the hell? What the hell's going on?
My biggest problem with Grantham is playing, 3rd and 19, playing 10 yards off the ball, giving up 16 yards. 3rd and 4, playing 10 yards off the ball. I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. But some of these guys just they're not making plays, man. So I think it's
Marco Wilson.
Right. It's scheme wise and
it's ball's right here, Marco. Here, yeah. Bro. Go and get it. Don't do this.
You got mossed by a true freshman.
Reminds me of the A&M game where if he had that pick, that might have been a game stealer.
Yeah. I guess, really, I feel like, and it goes back to what we said last week with, this specific game. I feel like there's really not much to really dive into, and I guess we can start to wrap things up a little bit earlier than we did last week. But how do you guys overall feel about, like, obviously the offense put up points and the offense is going to win. I think they said, I don't remember the exact number, but it was something around like they had put in 30 plus points in several games or something like that. How do you guys feel like knowing that? And I saw a tweet that just mentioned it too. It's like, remember when Alabama, LSU, Florida, and another team used to all have great defenses, and it was like, what a great time. Because it's like, here we are. It's like the offense is really, who would have expected that the thing for Alabama is going to be the offense? Who would have expected that the thing for the Gators right now is going to be the offense? So how do you guys feel knowing that, like, at least for the next few games until we get to that Alabama game, it's going to be the offense, and they're still clicking minus Kyle Trask, Trayvon Grimes stepping up, the running game getting a little bit going better than it was before. And I guess I'll start with you, D.
Yeah, I thought the running game should have done a lot better considering Vandy was playing a three-man front most of the game because they did what Arkansas did last week. Three-man front.
Vanderbilt statistically gives up 185 yards rushing a game.
I agree, man. Like I said, man, they for whatever reason when we come there, they play like it's the Super Bowl. They guys give an extra effort more than they give the other teams, but like I said, I think we should have ran the ball a lot better on the 3-man front. Shout out to the tight ends, man. Last week it was Gamble, man. This week it was Gamble. Tim Brewster's really coaching those guys up. And we did what we had to do to win the game, man. We didn't turn the ball over. We didn't give Vanderbilt any short fields. So again, it was a business-like effort. I know it wasn't the effort that we thought we were gonna get, but once again, man, I hate to reiterate it, but when we go to Vandy, man, it's just something about playing up there where Vandy's going to give their best effort and we kind of struggle a little bit. But at the end of the day, the more talented team won and it showed.
Manny?
I mean, listen, I think I guess he obviously says the main point, right? You would have wanted to run the ball more. And I know that in the second half you ran it over for 100 yards. I mean, that should have been the plan from the get-go. But listen, Kyle Trask was facing pressure with 3-man fronts. That shouldn't happen. And you'd think that running the football would create a little bit more pressure on Vanderbilt to start bringing men down because you saw what they were doing, right? They're basically playing eight-man zone, 8-man, passing coverages. And it's like, well, the only way for the defense to get out of that is by you running the ball consistently. Obviously, as the game worn out, the the athletes of Florida and obviously the way that the game plan is for offense coming out of the third quarter, that changed, right? Listen, if we're gonna win a national championship, it's gonna have to be relying on this offense, man. I've wanted to say that this defense can come up with plays, can come up with stops, but the way that it's trending, and I understand it's Vanderbilt, and it's not gonna happen. And I'm so with you, man. It's like once again you're giving up 60-yard touchdowns to Vanderbilt after last week you gave up 380+ yarder ones to Arkansas. I mean, it's quite obvious. This defense is going to bend, but don't break type of mentality. This offense cannot have 1 week off, man. You have 1 week off with this offense, you can kiss your natty chances goodbye. So, it's just about Dan Mullen. This is why you were brought here. Offensive mind speaking, right? Do what you got to do on offense, because you got to know that heading into Kentucky, Tennessee, and LSU right before Bama, this team is relying on his offense to win the 4th national championship. So I hope that's the message. And I'm not trying to say that the defense can't come up big, man, but it's time for me, especially, just open my eyes, man, and be like, hey, we're gonna give up 300+ yards to Vanderbilt. Like it's inexplicable to me. But that's where I stand.
No, I feel you on the kind of like in terms of telling yourself like with the defense. I like when what I like when watching football is I really like the defensive game. Like I like watching defense. If it's a close, tight game, that's entertaining to me. I know a lot of people don't like those like low scoring games. They want to see a lot of offense pop. So I've held out that hope that the defense is going to put on one of those performances where I'm like, okay, well I know the offense is going to put up points, but I want to see you give me a performance where I'm just like, all right, let's go. Like this is great. We have like, let's get this defense. Okay, this is like at the right track. We're getting everything going. And I feel like collectively we just have to say, just like we said now, it's over. You just the offense has got to be the ones to do it. Defense is not going to get it done this year. It's not going to be able to carry you to the promised land like you want to.
I mean, listen, hold on, D. Go.
But here's the deal, guys. It's defense is about third down conversions. Vanderbilt, it seemed like the first half they converted every third down. The second half, not so
shut
much,
down.
Except for a couple of off plays. But
then you give up the big play, though.
Right. Because these guys can't tackle. Sean Davis is calling everybody out on Twitter, calling us fake fans, but he can't tackle anybody. Donovan Steiner, we had him at the 10-yard line. He can't tackle anybody. This college football right now, it's about third down defense, getting off the field and stopping explosive plays. After the first quarter, they did a pretty good job, except for the one drive in the third quarter. That's what it comes down to. And Vanderbilt converted too many third downs in the first half and kept the game competitive.
Yeah. Well, I guess I mean,
it's not going to get any easier, guys, because we know the battles against Kentucky are never easy, right?
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. That game concerns me a little bit, slightly, because the last 2 years they have controlled the trenches against Florida, and if they can run the ball, it's not going to be nice.
Shit. We got more linebackers that can stop that.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, I guess.
Oh man.
I was gonna say, I guess is a way to kind of wrap it up, Mandy. If you want to kind of give us a sound off.
No, I mean, overall, you got the W, right? You went up there, you got what was the most important thing. Nobody got hurt. Kyle Trask didn't get hurt, the most important thing. And for sure, man, without Clemson playing today, which I'm still trying to figure out, did Florida State really just quit, not want to play today, or they just say screw it, or something like that? Yeah, because the whole thing came out saying that they didn't feel comfortable with playing when Clemson had already tested positive. They tested negative 3 times in tally. But listen, it's quite clear, right? Kyle Trask is the number 1 guy in winning the Heisman. And listen, this season has to end on a great note. I don't know how it could end higher than a national championship. I hope it ends there. But it's like we just talked about 3-4 minutes ago. This team is going to have to rely on their offense to get them there. And listen, next week, it's a tough cookie against Kentucky. They're always going to be well coached. And I agree with D, man. If you can stop their running game, you're giving your shot an opportunity to control the trenches on defense, especially, and control the game. it shouldn't take to the fourth quarter, then missing a field goal for us to feel good about it, right? I mean,
Right.
we've seen them miss field goals last year, and it's like, wow, what if that would have gone in? You know what I'm saying? And maybe Kyle Trask's momentum would have not kept going, but of course, that's a hearsay or she-say type of thing.
Yeah.
Just to me personally, I also think it's a scheme thing when it comes to defense. Maybe these guys are not as great athletes as we thought they were, and Grantham sees this on day in and day out in practice, and maybe this is why he does these type of schemes. But it's just doing a scheme and failing it shouldn't have you missing tackles, shouldn't have you not knowing where you're supposed to line up. That's just mental preparedness, man. That has nothing to do with you as a player. It's just all up here. How much are you studying? How much are you actually learning the tape? Because in the first drive, and I even said this, maybe you came in, we made this true freshman quarterback at Vanderbilt look like an All-American. We had no idea what to do. So those are the things that, are frustrating, but I also know that
Yeah, they were doing short passes, running the ball, staying ahead of the chains, 30 shorts, converting third downs. Britton Cox jumped off sides twice.
Him and Carter in that first quarter. Come on, man, be more disciplined, dude. Get off the field. Like, stop getting this team an extra possession and extra first down plays.
And if the underdog is converting third downs, they can shorten the game and run the clock and run their offense, man. When you get them off the field like we did last week, you force them to get out of their game plan and do different things. But like I said, man, defense in this day and age of college football comes down to getting guys off the field on third downs, and getting a few turnovers and getting a few punts, man. You're not going to stop these offenses, man, because everybody in college football has adopted the spread concept.
Yeah,
right, I think that's where it ended. I believe the game next week is at noon, right? Noon at the Swamp next Saturday.
I think. Yeah.
After Thanksgiving in a weekend where normally we be playing our rivals, but they're having their own issues, so that's not happening.
Yep.
All right, Kai, take us out.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Swamp Chats post game. D, thank you so much for joining us again. I know myself and Manny really appreciate it. We will see you guys next week for pregame. We'll remember to have a pregame next week. That noon kickoff, and then again for post game. So thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. And hope that you have